Welcome back to my channel, you guys. I have a heavy deadlift today. I am on week 5 of JuggerCube, and if you are unfamiliar with that program, it is a new program in the app. I love it. It's undulating periodization. So my last real heavy deadlift was on week 1 of the program. So I'm excited to get to it today. A little bit nervous, and just like you guys, I am human. Every time I do a heavy lift, if it's squat, deadlift particularly, I do get anxiety. It is completely normal to feel that way before you have a heavy lift. And I feel like if you don't feel that way, something might be wrong with you. I'm just gonna walk you through how I warm up for that and kind of how I get my mind right to start doing that. Not cold, it's just drizzling, which I'm kind of mad about because it had been incredibly nice on Monday, like 80 degrees. And I love when it's hot. I hate when it's cold. Although right now it's not too bad, but if you know me, you know I enjoy complaining, and I lost count. Starting with these cat-cows, kind of just get my back moving, and then gonna go right into these. I always forget the name of these, so I don't know. I'll just write it below what it is when my brain starts working and I remember. Because I am pulling Sumo this block as my comp deadlift, I need to get my hips warmed up. I have been switching back and forth between pulling conventional for my main deadlift and Sumo, not switching back and forth within a block, but from block to block, just depending on how it's feeling, how my back is feeling. So that's kind of what I've been doing. So you see that took all of 3 minutes. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start warming up with the bar, and let's get to it. As I was saying earlier, having anxiety when you have a heavy lift is absolutely normal. A couple things that I try to do is, I try not to think about the lifts that I have days in advance. So, I don't like to look ahead so much in my programming. That way I'm not dwelling on it days in advance. I typically do know when I do have heavy deadlifts, heavy squats, or heavy bench, but again, just not dwelling on it is gonna be really helpful. If you are the type of person that must know when it's coming, a couple things you can do there is think good visualization thoughts. So what that means is visualizing everything that's gonna happen on that day. Knowing that there's gonna be nerves, you're visualizing those nerves, it's okay to feel them. Visualizing yourself getting into good positioning, grabbing the bar, feeling what that feels like, how it feels in your hands, and then you're positioning and actually visualizing finishing the lift and having it feel good. If you're visualizing fails, you're most likely gonna set yourself up for a fail because that's all you've been visualizing days in advance. So a couple things I like to do is kind of not think about it, but if I am thinking about it, visualize good technique and a good lift. you're wondering how I determine the jumps when I'm warming up, I am simply following the warm-up protocol within the app. If you are not on the app, get on it. But if you are actually not on the app and you're doing a different programming, what I would recommend is kind of writing down what you warm up and typically what your jumps are. This way you have an idea of what feels good to you. What you want to do is, the further away you are from your top set, so at the first couple sets that you're doing, you're going to do more reps. So with the bar, I did probably 10 to 12. Once I added on the 70 kilos, I did 5, then 3, then 2. Now I'm doing singles until I get to that top working set. So you're gonna do more reps, the lighter weight that you have, and less reps as you get to your warm-up set. Do not worry about volume accumulation because you're gonna get the volume when we do the back down set. So don't make the mistake of doing way too many warm-ups. When you get to your top set, you're a little bit more fatigued than you wanna be. So that's what I'm doing. We're on to singles. Well, that felt terrible. One of the things that is definitely much harder for me now that I'm not competing is to find that place in me where I want to push, where I feel like, oh my God, I have to do this. When I was getting ready for competing, obviously you have an end goal and you need to like really push yourself to make sure that you're hitting the numbers you need to hit in training so that those translate over onto the platform. Well, when you're not competing, it's very easy to be like, that felt like shit. I'm just gonna go ahead and scrap it and then just move on, which there's definitely utility to that. Because I don't compete and I have suffered sciatic issues before, I don't feel the need to push myself quite as heavy as I used to, because honestly, there's just no need and there's no point in me pushing it if I don't have to. Why potentially hurt myself when I'm not competing or getting ready for anything? On the flip side, there is something to be said about pushing your limits and getting to that place again where you find that grit within you to know that, yeah, I'm scared about this, but I'm gonna go ahead and push through and make it happen regardless. There is some benefit to that, and let's just see how this next top set feels and go from there. Okay, needed music for that top set. So as you can see, if you saw my 155 pull right before this, it looked like shit. It was very slow. And that's why I say sometimes getting into that place mentally where you're like, I know I can fucking do this and I'm just gonna make it happen. Not the prettiest pulls. Sumo for me is harder in a way because I feel like you can't like really like fight through it in the same way that I can with conventional. I'm just so comfortable with conventional that I can take myself there mentally. And sumo, it's a little bit harder for me to take myself there because it's a very technical lift and I feel like I have to think a lot more. But yeah, happy, got it done. 165 for a double beltless, not too shabby. So let's do the worst part of this training, which is the back down sets. And then I have a unilateral exercise and then a posterior chain exercise and then some abs and done. So if I could have rated that like a 12, I would have rated that a 10 RPE. So that dropped my back downs to 127 and a half. But yeah, is this right? It's wrong. Let me fix this right quick. Exhausted my mental capacity on that top set. So just the thought of doing these back downs is just, it ain't it. Part of me was like, should I just do these back downs conventional? But we're not doing that because that would be going off program. And my back actually feels better pulling sumo, even though by the looks of that top set, you wouldn't know it. Felt like that was all back. had 3 back down sets, 127.5 for a 3x3. Spare you guys the other 2 sets that I did there because, and make sure you remove all the little plates before you pull that. So the one time that I actually dropped a weight on my toe was kind of just like that. I forgot that I had the 5 kilo and I was pulling the 20 kilo off on my bench, pulled it off, not paying attention. The 5 kilo plate just fell right onto my shoe, my toe. I immediately like felt what throbbing, obviously, because the plate hit my foot, but I was afraid to take off my shoe. Like all I felt was like wetness in my shoe. So I know for sure, like my foot is bleeding. It was hurting really bad, but I was like, okay, I don't feel like I broke anything. I walked over, I take my shoe off, and whew, the plate had hit right on my toe, like the cuticle of my big toe, and the nail just like popped up and was like just dangling, not dangling, but just like popped off of the cuticle, and it was disgusting. And it literally took, I want to say like a year for the toenail to grow back, and yeah, gross, but pay attention. Before, say it again, always start with your weak leg. For me, that is my left leg, so that's what we're starting with. Want to get full range and really making sure my front leg is doing work here, not letting my back leg, just using it to stabilize. I have my favorite Fitspo exercise, which is these banded glute kickbacks. So I love these. I know a lot of people probably make fun of girls who do these because like, oh, you're just worried about your glutes. But for me, I actually like that it's a little less fatiguing than if I were to do RDLs, because I've had sciatica and my back tends to get like really aggravated if I don't manage what I'm doing. These provide good stimulus without a ton of fatigue. So I like them. Don't worry about if people make fun of you when you're doing these. I think it's a great exercise. And if you can get some glutes out of it, then, you know, double yay. You'd be double yay, double caked up. And if you are in a commercial gym, it's gonna be almost better to do these there because, you know, you can be on a cable machine. You can move that cable up a little higher, really get up high this way and push back. So you have a little bit more versatility in a commercial gym, but if not, doing it this way with the band, it works fine. Did 3 sets of the banded glute kickbacks, spare you the redundancy there. Last but not least, I have abs. Typically I would do like an ab wheel rollout, but I'll probably do that later in the week because I just don't have one of those here. But I am gonna do my banded rotational crunches. If you've watched our videos on what keeps our back feeling good, this is one of the exercises that is in there. I've explained it a million times. So you can go back, I'll link it so you guys can see it. But I love these exercises because, again, we don't do a ton of rotation in powerlifting. And if you do get rotated when you're squatting or deadlifting, probably gonna hurt something. Sides. Okay, you guys, that's it. I had 3 sets of the banded rotational crunches. I'll also save you the redundancy of that, having to watch it 3 times on video. But as usual, I hope you guys like this video. Hope you learned something. Hope you learned how to push yourself and how to conquer anxiety if you're having those fears. Just know that it's normal. We all have it. Also, if you want to join the best community, make sure you check out juggernautai.app. You get 2 weeks free, and we'd love to see you there. We're a great community. We have a great Facebook group. I've said it a million times, and I'm not saying it just to say it. It's actually true. But yeah, that being said, I will see you guys next time. Make sure that you comment below. Let me know what you want to see next, and see you then.